Okay, class, this is Mr. Eggleston. I want to talk about the 5-point assignment that's labeled Unit 4 Review. I just want to make sure you understand what you're supposed to do. Each, you have, I think, A, B, C, and D problem sets. Each set has 4 problems to solve. For example, problem set A, the first upper right question was solve this equation. If there are multiple solutions, add them together. So how do you solve this? Well, you have to denude. This is from last, obviously, Unit 4. You have to get this thing squared by itself, so we have to denude it, which means we subtract 13 from both sides, which gives us this. 62 minus 13 is 49. Now that's something squared, kind of like w squared equals 49. To solve that, we take the square root, which I show here. So the square root of x minus 5 squared, the square root undoes the squaring. These two would cancel out and it leaves you with x minus 5. But because it's an even power, it's squared, you get 2 possible solutions. You get a positive square root of 49 and a negative square root of 49, which gives us a solution of plus or minus 7. 2 answers. So now we add 5 to isolate the x, to get this x by itself, and we have this, 5 plus or minus 7. Well, that's 2 answers. It's 5 minus 7, which is negative 2, and 5 plus 7, which is 12. They said if you have 2 solutions, add them together. So for this box, for box A, the answer would be 10. We go on to the next problem, which is now this. It's a square root. So to solve this, we have to denude the square root. So we're going to divide both sides by 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5, and you have the square root of x plus 8 equals 5. Now to get rid of the square root, we have to square. So we square both sides. So now we have x plus 8 equals 5 squared equals 25. That tells us x equals negative 8 plus 25, which is 17. Notice, and that's the answer for box B, but notice there's only one solution here. There were 2 solutions at this stage because when we take the square root, you can either have a positive or a negative solution. So we got 10 and 17. All right, now, so we're just going through this. Box C, we want to solve this equation, x cubed minus 7 equals 20. Well, just like before, we have to denude the x cubed. So we get the x cubed, we add 7 to both sides, and 20 plus 7 is 27. But this is some number to the 3rd power equals 27. The opposite of cubing a number is the cube root. All right? Just like the opposite of squaring a number, it's the square root. So we take the cube root of 27, but here's the odd rub. Since we're taking an odd root, since this was an odd power, you only get one possible solution. You don't get the plus or minus. Because if you put a negative inside of this and cube it, the result would be negative. So, and if you put a positive and cube it, the result would be positive. So there's no plus or minus option. It's just you can have x cubed equals negative 27. You take the cube root, you get negative 3. Or you can, in this case, have x cubed equals positive 27. Take the cube root and you get 3. So we get one answer here, x equals 3. The final question on the first set here is to solve this absolute value equation. To do that, we have to denude the absolute value. We have to strip everything on the outside away. So we divide both sides by -4, and that gives us this. Okay, absolute value of 3x plus 5 equals 11. That gives us two possible solutions. 3x plus 5 can equal -11, or 3x plus 5 can equal +11. Again, why is it two solutions? Because if you put -11 and replace 3x plus 5 with -11 and take the absolute value, that gives you a +11. And likewise, if we replace 3x plus 5 with the +11 and you take the absolute value, that also gives you a +11. Both of them work. So we have these two solutions. So you have 3x plus 5 equals -11. Subtract 5 from both sides because we're solving this linear equation. Divide by 3, and you got x equals -16 divided by 3. On the positive side, subtract 5. 11 minus 5 is 6. You have 3x equals 6. X equals 2. Now we have to add these two solutions together. And what I did is I said, okay, well, 2 is just x, or 6 divided by 3. I did that so I could have a common denominator. And -16 over 3 plus 6 over 3 is -10 over 3. Now, here's the thing. You take these three answers, 10, 17, 3, and -10 over 3, add them together, and get the sum. So 10 plus 17 plus 3, if you add that together, it gives you 30, minus 10 over 3. Well, 30 is just 90 over 3, common denominator, minus 10 over 3 gives you 80 over 3, which is 26 2/3, or 26.667. And that is the answer for the box, or for set A. That's what is reported on Google Classroom. You notice I give you set A, B, C, and D, and then these numbers. And all those numbers represent is the sum of each of all four boxes. Okay? So you can see if you got them right. But that's how you do it. I did all of them. There's nothing weird about this except set D. This for what value? Yeah, for set D, you end up saying these two equations equal to each other. And to do that, to solve that, you have to cube things, and it just gets ugly. Best way is to solve it graphically. Solve it on Desmos. And that is how you do this, all right? And if you look at Google Classroom, let me get out of this. If you go to Google Classroom, by the way, there I am this last winter as Santa. If you go to Google Classroom and you go to Algebra 2 and you go to the classwork and you go to Unit 4 Review and you look, this is how I look at it. You can see right here, I give you all the answers. Set A is 26.67. Set B is 278.67. Lot 6 sevens. Set C is 33, and set D is -58.9. And I solved set D graphically with Desmos. All right? So anyway, I just wanted you to know this, and there you go.